What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. So this one's going to be a little different. Of course it is a What If mini or a one-off, but the thing that makes this different from a lot of my other videos is that this is actually going to be taking place after the events of Super, and it's something purely original, but the concept is something that very well might happen. We heard this before. Vegeta promised Cabba that one day he would visit Planet Sadala in Universe 6. And who knows, maybe that arc is upcoming. But just for fun, I want to create my own little rendition of it. Nothing too major though. And of course Vegeta's not going alone, Goku's coming along with him. Anyways, with that explanation aside, let's get into it. So this takes place after the Broly movie, and we still don't know how the Moro arc ends yet, but unless something crazy happens like Goku or Vegeta dying permanently, which won't happen, it's not really going to change too much here. So let's assume Moro was defeated, everything's all great, it all got wrapped up nicely, yada yada whatever. And with this time of peace, even though it's going to be temporary, Vegeta decides he wants to do something that he thought of a while ago but never actually ended up doing. He wants to actually visit Planet Sadala in Universe 6. And no way is Goku going to be left out of this. This seems kinda awesome. Vegeta is more so interested in Cabba and the planet itself, and Goku probably would be a little bit into that stuff, but more so he'd be focused on the Saiyans there, specifically Kale and Caulifla, and a little bit of Cabba. It would be a fun experience for the both of them, and Vegeta did make a promise after all, so why not? As a gift for his students making such good progress, Whis decides he could throw them a bone and have them visit there. And as long as they don't piss Champa off, Beerus just fine with whatever they do, just cause he doesn't want to deal with that aftermath. They probably would have to check in with Champa when doing this, but he probably wouldn't care. If anything, this would be good for him because it might help buff up his Saiyans. What fools, they're inadvertently making his universe stronger. Sure, he'll gladly let them come in. Maybe they can even have a tournament rematch and he could win this time. Anywho, Goku and Vegeta are taken to Sadala, with Vados basically being their transport. Whenever they need, they can contact her and go back to Universe 7. They arrive on the planet and they're pretty intrigued to see what it's like. It's nothing like Earth, and from what Vegeta remembers from his childhood, it even seems different from Planet Vegeta. But of course, Cabba would know that they're here. Vados would most likely have informed the Saiyans about this. And news gets to Caulifla and Kale too. It would probably be a fun little reunion. Cabba would be elated to see his master and Goku, while Caulifla and Kale would be pretty excited to see Goku here, knowing that they could probably train for some new form like they wanted. Caulifla is still having some trouble accessing that Super Saiyan 3 that Goku showed off. But hey, now that he's here, that's perfect. Nothing's really happened in Universe 6 recently, but Vegeta and Goku fill everyone in about what happened in their universe. Recently they found some other Saiyan who was kinda like Kale in terms of his transformations. It was really weird. On top of that, they met another angel, and some goat dude. Plus, since this is after the Moro arc, Goku does tell him that he could use Ultra Instinct at will. Well, at least he could use Omen. Caulifla and Kale know this form all too well since they had to fight against it, but Goku reminds him that this is far too out of their league. And right now they should focus on something more grounded. All three of them learned Super Saiyan 2 surprisingly fast, so really the next step would be Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta personally still sees that form as kinda useless, and as for Cabba, he just wants to learn whatever Vegeta wants to teach him. Vegeta's more so here to tour the planet, and maybe do a bit of sparring with Cabba and see where he is now. Cabba will give Vegeta a tour of the planet, and he'll possibly meet the king. And on the other hand, Goku will stick with Caulifla and Kale and possibly meet their gang or whatever they have, since they're interested in trying to learn Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta's amazed to see this planet. Sure, it's not as advanced as Planet Vegeta was, but that's also because Planet Vegeta did get help from the Frieza Force. But since the Saiyans here aren't naturally just violent, it does seem a lot more civilized than Planet Vegeta. It's a very interesting journey for him, and it kinda reminds him of his childhood. It gets him wondering about what may have happened if the Saiyans in Universe 7 were like this. Oh, I just realized I accidentally plugged one of my series. I'll link it at the top of the video. Anyways, jokes and plugs aside, King Sadala would most likely want to actually meet Vegeta, a Saiyan from another universe, and apparently, this guy is the prince. Sure, there's only 3 pure Saiyans there, but he's still a prince kinda. Well, not really, just in name only. This would be a really intriguing experience for him. One person who's the de facto leader of the Saiyans in his universe, meeting the leader of Saiyans in this universe. He'll get to learn more about the history of Universe 6 and Sadala, and get to know more about the culture of this planet. And of course, King Sadala would probably be pretty shocked to hear that the Saiyans in Universe 7, well, they're kinda murderous psychopaths. Not to mention, most of them are dead. Really weird, and in classic Saiyan fashion, they get to enjoy a feast. I mean, King Sadala is welcoming royalty from another universe. Of course he's gonna treat his guests and make them feel welcomed. Too bad Goku didn't go along, he's missing out on some great food. But in the meantime, he's actually been training with the 2 female Saiyans. It seems both of them are able to use Super Saiyan 2 pretty efficiently by now, and it seems Kale has more of her own path of power. That Berserk form she has and gained control of, it's like a unique little line of Super Saiyan forms for her. But as for Caulifla, she knows that her forms are actually similar to Goku's. She doesn't have some weird berserk form, legendary form, whatever. She's just a normal Super Saiyan. Well, as normal as a Super Saiyan can be. So of course she's going to be striving to learn Super Saiyan 3, while Kale mostly just follows Cauliflo's lead. King Sadala actually mentioned something pretty interesting to Vegeta. Well, they're not sure yet, but based on some recon, the military actually feels like someone's about to attack soon. They've been detecting an odd key signature flying nearby, and for the few people in their defense force that can actually sense ki, it doesn't seem like good ki. And of course one of the people who pointed this out is Cabba. He is an elite member of the defense force after all, and he decides that there's no reason to hide this info from Vegeta, and flat out tells him that the ki that they've been sensing is actually from Frost. Frost? Well, the thing is, ever since Frost got exposed for being evil, he pretty much went into hiding. We saw this before the Tournament of Power when Hit recruited him. But now, after the Tournament of Power, he actually is reinvigorated. Sure, he's alone right now, he doesn't have some army like Frieza, but if he's been exposed, he may as well use his power to gain some influence. That Frieza guy from the other universe, he was an emperor after all, at least from what he knows. Frost is actually fueled by his hatred for Frieza, and seeks to take over Universe 6 and eventually find a way into Universe 7 and find Frieza. But for now, one of his goals is to actually fight any opposition, and of course one of his concerns is the Sadala Defense Force, because they have some pretty strong people, even Super Saiyans, and he's kinda ticked off by these Saiyans. If everyone in the universe is against him, why not actually put up a fight? This is explained to Vegeta and it makes a lot of sense, and actually gives him a bad sense of deja vu. A guy that looks like Frieza attacking a planet full of Saiyans? Yeah, that doesn't sound too good. Vegeta was only going to stick around for about a few days, but hearing about this, he's actually intrigued to stay around longer. He wants to help defend this planet at any cost, whether it means getting involved in the fight or training Cabba up. King Sadala is actually pretty shocked to hear this and thanks Vegeta. He's actually warming up to this guy. The two seem pretty similar. I mean, from Cabba's description before, he did say Sadala was a little bit similar to Vegeta after all. Besides the fact that both are royalty, they'd probably get along pretty well because they're similar otherwise. They've made a great ally just now. But speaking of that, Vegeta did mention some Kakarot guy that's here as well, another Saiyan. Vegeta does tell them that he will recruit Kakarot, and he's sure that Kakarot would love to help. He's already training 2 Saiyans right now. Sadala does get a little confused because Cabba then mentions some guy named Goku, while Vegeta's talking about someone named Kakarot. Wait, there's 2 Saiyans here? Wait, no, Kakarot and Goku are the same guy? It's a little bit weird, but then he gets it. Anywho, back to Goku. Vegeta and Cabba eventually return, and they see Goku sparring with the 2 female Saiyans. Caulifla is actually a little bit discouraged, but Goku tries to cheer her up. I mean, think about how long it took Goku to get the form, and he was dead while he did it. Even if Caulifla got Super Saiyan 1 and 2 pretty quickly, it might take a little longer for Super Saiyan 3, but Goku knows she can do it. And being his happy-go-lucky self, he tries to encourage the 2 of them. But that happiness is about to go away when Vegeta and Cabba fill them in on what's happening, and how he and Goku were basically just recruited into the Sadala army. Wow, first they were part of the Galactic Patrol and now they're part of the Sadala army? Seems like Goku and Vegeta are turning into mercenaries for hire. Nothing is certain though, they don't know if Frost is actually going to attack. But it's good to know just in case, and they're still going to try training up the 3 Saiyans. These 3 have made way more progress than anyone else on the planet, and it seems like now they have a new goal to train for. Somehow, they have to become strong enough to fight Frost. Sure, Goku and Vegeta will be there and will fight if they need to, but they actually want to see if these 3 Saiyans can handle it themselves. You know, in case they're not here next time something like this happens. Vegeta is especially passionate and angry about this. He won't let another planet of Saiyans fall. Especially one like this, they've done nothing wrong. They've actually been a good force for the universe. And he wants to help protect that and nourish it. We've seen Vegeta recently, especially in the Moro arc, trying to be more proactive. Being very protective of innocent people, kinda wanting to atone for his actions before. First it was Namek, and now he can kinda atone for that by protecting the Saiyans here. All the planets he slaughtered before, he knows he probably can't make up for that, but him protecting planets now, it at least puts him at ease. And of course for Goku, he's glad to just be here. No question about it, he's gonna help out as well. Days pass, and those days turn into weeks. Goku and Vegeta learn more about the culture of Planet Sadala, and they're pretty amazed with how cool this planet is. Plus, it seems like their students are making great progress. Sure, Caulifla still hasn't gotten Super Saiyan 3, and Kale and Cabba for that matter haven't either, but they've started to become noticeably stronger. Meanwhile in space, Frost is actually planning something. This should be his first target, his first show of force. If he destroys the Sadala army, and the Saiyans for that matter, he'll be getting rid of one of his strongest forms of opposition, and it would be a great way to show his true power. People will fear him, and that hit guy isn't a concern either. He's an assassin and he's got no qualms with Frost as far as he knows. The big concern is Champa, but Frost also isn't too concerned about that. From what he's learned, if he can find the Supreme Kai of this universe too, killing him would kill Champa as well. So if it does come down to that, all he'll need to do is go over there and do the job. He sits on it for a while, thinking about what his next course of action will be. But from what he could tell, those Saiyans have grown pretty strong, so he might need to do a bit of training himself, which is why he's been taking so long for this plan. In seclusion over the past few months or so, he's been training up and he feels like he accessed something new that might help him out. Not just against the Saiyans, but in future endeavors as well. Now that he thinks about it, he doubts that Hit will even show up, but if he does, he feels confident about contending with him this time. But it's not like the Saiyans haven't been training. This entire time they have been trying to get stronger. And not to mention, now they have 2 teachers for them, who will also serve as backup in case anyone needs help. Which is good because now, Frost is heading towards Sadala. It's only been about a few weeks or so of training, plus the few months of training they had beforehand, but the Saiyans are still remarkably stronger. They grew pretty quickly before the Tournament of Power, and I feel like it would be no different here. They all sense Frost coming towards the planet, and now their test has begun. This will show if the Saiyans have truly surpassed their limits yet. Frost decides the best course of action is to blow up the planet from space. It's the quickest and cleanest way. Too bad for him, this is also a great way to get noticed. At least if he does a big blast. He decides he's going to aim a beam towards the center of the planet, and it may be a bit slower, but it still will do the job and blow it up. Sensing where he is, the 5 Saiyans go to where they sense Frost's ki, directly under where he is in space, and immediately they see a flash of light from the sky. Together, Cabba, Kale, and Cauliflower launch a beam that deflects Frost's beam, and one strong enough to actually go up into space and hit Frost. A little injured and surprised, Frost realizes he's been spotted, but by who? He descends onto the planet and sees who's there. Of course, he recognizes everyone. Those 2 Saiyans from Universe 7 are here, and those girls from the Tournament of Power, but most angered of all is Cabba, who Frost has actually worked with in the past, and Cabba's actually pretty infuriated. Why couldn't Frost be good like he pretended to be? He tricked everyone, especially Cabba when he made them think they were comrades, but now he's ready to fight. Frost descends to his full power, or at least what everyone thinks is his full power. Cabba then immediately jumps into Super Saiyan 2, and the 2 begin clashing. Frost is actually pretty surprised. Cabba didn't seem this strong before, but now he's contending with Frost's full power even after he's trained. But Frost is still pretty confident. It appears that this may be Cabba's limit right now. And the best part, the Saiyans from Universe 7 are staying out of this. At least until things get bad, which gives him a perfect opportunity to strike. Cabba's doing pretty well against Frost, set on defeating him after all he's done. He delivers a powerful gut punch that stuns Frost, then grabs him by his tail. Swinging him around, he flings Frost up into the sky. Together, he, Kale, and Cauliflower launch a massive beam, which Frost tries to deflect, but he's only barely able to push it back, causing it to explode in his face and deal some damage. The smoke clears and it's revealed that Frost is still alive, but somewhat injured. That's it. No more time for games. Frost reveals that he has a new form. Goku and Vegeta are getting some serious deja vu. What, is he golden now? Frost actually elected for something much scarier. He instead just has a 5th form, something like Cooler. I feel like this would suit Frost. It's pretty sleek, but it's also intimidating. Plus, Cooler doesn't exist in this timeline, or in this universe for that matter, so really, this is an original form for him. Well, technically. Frost begins transforming. He grows in size, past his full power size. Spikes grow on him, with his face and head changing as well. The entire planet shakes. He descends to the ground, and after hearing explosions and feeling the whole planet shake, Frost now has a whole group of Saiyans watching him, as the entire planet and the army of the planet are there to watch. But they all feel powerless once they see Frost in his new form. Even Kale, Cauliflower, and Cabba are discouraged. Goku and Vegeta prepare to jump in to fight, but their students tell them that they're not done. If Cabba could take Frost on before, the 3 of them should at least be able to hold Frost back in this new form. Together, all 3 of them jump into Super Saiyan 2, and they're pretty coordinated with their fighting skills. The thing is here, Frost isn't going to have the stamina issues that the Golden form had when Frieza first got it. This isn't really a transformation like Golden, this is more so a next level of power, just another stage in his power suppression. This is his true full power, not that bulky form they saw before, and it shows off the fruits of his training. This is him, completely unrestrained, unhinged, ready to conquer. The 3 Saiyans actually have some trouble fighting Frost, but the good thing is he was previously injured, and the 3 of them combined are able to do some damage. But they can tell something's missing. They just need a little bit more power. They don't want to have Goku and Vegeta handle everything for them. They can do this themselves. Far away on Champa's planet, he and Vados are watching. Of course, Vados would inform him about this. And Champa is a little bit concerned, but it seems like they're handling it pretty well. But he's angry that those Universe 7 Saiyans aren't jumping in to do something. They could probably kill Frost right away if they wanted. But then Vados informs him This seems like a test of some sort, to see where the true power of the Universe 6 Saiyans are. It definitely will be interesting to see, just in case they decide that they're going to travel near Sadala, in the unlikely event that they need to intervene. Frost's injuries from before are holding him back, while the stamina of the 3 Saiyans are dwindling. Had he not been injured before, this would have been much easier, but it's obviously holding Frost back. He was sloppy and is now paying the price. So it's time to end this. No holding back. This should be a way to kill those 3 Saiyans and the planet for good. He launches a wide attack that knocks the 3 Saiyans back, temporarily allowing him to charge a massive ball of energy. Goku and Vegeta immediately power up, preparing to jump in, but Kale, Cabba, and Caulifla all feel confident. They try to bring out as much energy as they can and launch a combined beam once more. It's able to hold back Frost's attack, but it's not destroying it. The 3 of them are evenly matched with Frost right now. If only they had a little bit more power. They try their hardest to summon more and more energy, and something begins to change. Frost can feel that their energy is spiking, and pushes the blast with even more power. He sees lightning bolts coming out from behind the blast. As Goku and Vegeta appear very shocked, Frost's blast gets pushed back more and more, and then it suddenly dissipates with someone cutting through it. He feels a powerful punch to his stomach once more, this one actually hurting a lot, and it's powerful enough to launch him further up into the sky. Kale and Cabba look in amazement as they see above them Caulifla and Super Saiyan 3. She's surprised too that she was able to do it, but she already feels her ki being drained from the form, so she wants to finish this quick. She launches a powerful beam as Cabba and Kale then join in once more, and this time the beam actually works. Frost is stunned and then he sees a giant swirling beam coming towards him. The purple, green, and red beam swallows Frost, as he is slowly but surely defeated. Caulifla immediately drops back into base, having expended all her energy. Kale and Cabba congratulate her because that was amazing, and Goku and Vegeta are pretty shocked too, as well as every other Saiyan that is watching, especially the king. Champa and Vados then descend onto the planet, having watched the whole thing go down. He scolds Goku and Vegeta for not helping out. They should have jumped in earlier and stopped this. But Goku explains that they were actually training the Saiyan, and this was a test for their power. They were prepared to jump in if needed, and it seems like they didn't need to. Champa actually calms down for a second considering what happened. They just made his Saiyan stronger, like he wanted. Plus, now that Frost guy is gone, he doesn't need to worry anymore. Maybe these two were pretty helpful after all, and it's a good thing Vados and Champa are here because now they're going to be heading back to Universe 7. All the Saiyans from Sadala thank them for their visit and wish them a farewell. Kale, Cabba, and Caulifla hope to see them again in the future. Now, Cabba and Kale are going to pursue Super Saiyan 3. And after that, maybe they can try going for those god forms that Goku and Vegeta have. That's pretty far off though, but Champa's actually considering this. It may be a good idea, so potentially soon, they'll be training under Vados. But for now, they'll remain on Sadala, being congratulated by the king and everyone else. Goku and Vegeta say their goodbye as they return to Universe 7. And we're going to end here. So what did you guys think about this scenario? And what do you think might happen next because of it? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And if you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future uploads. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.